All right, those of you watching live, apparently you're going to see me now. He announced the same thing we announced a few minutes back, that's what we got. So Heritage Falls 2, Maranatha 1. Again, if you're watching live, I assume you're not someone who knows nothing about Bible because you're probably interested in seeing what's going on. Heritage and Kettle should win. I mean, they don't have to. That's why we play the games, but they should win. They should get to the round of 6. And then you have Falls 2 and Pleasant View 2 going for the middle wins, Maranatha 1 and Clinton, Michigan. Those should be tighter matchups because it's seed difference of 1, 8th and 9th, and then 7th and 10th. First and second seed should go in that. And then the third quiz, the one that should be most interesting for the high and middle, Florida, Georgia, or Athens Faith, I guess is what they're calling it. And then Falls 1 is going against Maranatha 2. So, 4 of those teams are then going to quiz against Temple and Pleasant View 1, and we'll do it. If you're watching, the quiz you're going to see is Heritage, Falls 2, and Maranatha 1. And then you're going to see Temple, and, if things hold the form, it'd be Pleasant View 2 and Falls 1, but things are unlikely to hold the form. It's a single elimination tournament. You're going to see there's going to be 3 rounds where we go from 11 to 8, 8 to 6, 6 to 4, and then we have 2 team quizzing. So we're going to do the TV is a different kind of introduction deal. So that's the deal with that. Is if you were watching, if you were listening live, you got it before anyone else. If you were looking on Facebook, I posted it before he announced it here. So everything should be copacetic there. Really great day of quizzing. Just kind of wrap it up. This is what I would do on BibleQuizzer.net podcast, so I'll do it now while we've got time before we're going to film. I got about 2 minutes, and then we're going to start filming. Heritage, I think Heritage, Kettle, Temple. Heritage and Kettle established themselves as the 2 best teams in terms of record. I thought the 2 of them, along with Temple and Athens Faith, even though Athens Faith is the 5th seed, I thought those 4 teams established themselves as the 4 best. I know Pleasant View's the 4th seed, and hey, I hope they do very well. I hope they do well. But anyway, all right, so we're going to go ahead and get started, apparently.
This is our first elimination round, as we mentioned. Whoever finishes high and middle will continue on, and our flow will communicate where we go next. But this will be the last quiz for one of these 3 teams for today. Any questions? We will not cap the questions. From now on, elimination will complete 20 correctly answered regular questions, regular toss-up. All right, here we go. We're going to go right into it. So everybody get ready. Lights off. Question number 1. Question. According to Romans 6:11, what are we on?
Dead. Understand? Reckon ourselves to be dead indeed unto sin.
I am sorry, that is incorrect. This is a toss-up question to the remaining teams. Question.
Alive unto God.
That is correct for 20 points. Question number 2. Question. In Romans 1, throughout where was there? Number 3.
Oh, where? Oh, all. All the. Oh, all the world.
Just a second. No, I'm sorry, that's incorrect. This is a toss-up question to the remaining team's question. No, I'm sorry. That is also incorrect. A free question to Maranatha. In Romans 1, throughout where was their faith spoken of?
The whole world.
That's correct. 10 points. To repeat question 2. Question. According to Romans 16:2, what has she been?
When has she been, many, she's been a sucker of many.
That is correct. 20 points. Way to stay with it. Just a reminder, I haven't noticed it earlier today, but once someone's light is on until we rule correct or incorrect, the other team shouldn't be talking. You have to wait till after we say correct or incorrect before you can discuss the potential toss-up. All right, question number 3. Quote, Romans 9:30.
But Israel, which followed after the law of righteousness, hath not attained to the law of righteousness.
No, I'm sorry, that is incorrect. This is a toss-up question to the remaining team's question. Quote, Romans 9:33. I was about to call time. You're not trying to stand, are you? Okay. We're going to go to... I was really ready to state time.
Get a timeout, Tom.
Yes, timeout.
All right, here we have Heritage got off to a slow start, and Heritage is theoretically supposed to be the team that is doing the best in this. So they got off to a slow start, call timeout, calm things down. They're not behind by much. The better team should win. But you really got to be pleased if you're Maranatha, because getting ahead 30 points this early is really good. And remember, anytime there's a 3-team quiz, there's 2 winners and 1 loser. So they're positioning themselves well to be in one of those top 2 spots. So great start for that team. Heritage not so good, but they're probably going to be okay. Let's see how it plays out.
Repeating. Question number 3. Question number 3. Question. How are we reconciled to God and...
By the death of his son.
That is correct. 20 points. Get settled in, because I'm just going to have to be... I'm going to have to call every foul so that I don't end up prejudicing something unwittingly, all right? So we'll call them all here, so really get settled in. Question number 4. Question. Quote, Romans 1:17.
For therein is the righteousness of God revealed from faith to faith, as it is written, the just shall live by faith.
That is it. 20 points. Question number 5. Question. According to Romans 4:15, what does the...
The law worketh wrath.
That is correct. 20 points. We'll take a score check here before a timeout. Falls has 1 error. Heritage has 80 points, 3 errors. And Maranatha has 30 with no errors. Timeout.
That just showed you the perfect use of a normal timeout. Heritage got off to a tough start, made some errors. The coach called timeout and said, calm down, we've got this. Then they run off 3 in a row. That's why they're one of the best teams you will see. Heritage sitting very pretty now, 80 points after 5 questions. I don't think that these 2 teams can challenge them, as I said before. I think they've got this in the bag. But let's see how it goes. That's why we play the games.
Okay, we are going to resume with question number 6. Question 6, question. Doth what in James 3?
Fountain.
That is correct, 20 points. Question number 7, question. According to James 1:25,
Whoso looketh in the perfect law of liberty and continueth therein.
no, I'm sorry, that's incorrect. This is a toss-up question to the remaining team's question. According to James 1:25, what does he look?
Into the perfect law of liberty.
That's it, 20 points. Question number 8, question. After whom in Romans 3 does none
After God.
Did you say anything when you first got up?
After.
Okay. No, I'm sorry, that's incorrect. This is a toss-up question to the remaining team's question.
There's none that seeketh after God.
Yes. I was trying to find out, did you say seek?
No, I didn't.
Okay. All right. Question number 9. Question. What 3 things in Romans 14 might thy brother?
Might thy brother stumble, be offended, and be made weak.
That's it, 20 points. That is a quiz out by Humility. That was great quizzing. Question number 10. Question. Foul and false. Question number 10. Question. According to Romans 13:11, what do we...
What do we? Knowing the time. It is high time to wake out of sleep.
That is correct. 20 points, and we will score check. We have Falls with 3 errors, Heritage with 180 and 3 errors, and Maranatha at 30. Timeout.
We are now at the halfway point. Heritage is running away with the high win. At this point, they would have to do something completely unforeseen to not get the high win. The question is going to be who's going to survive. As was mentioned previously, we are at the point where the team who loses might show a little more dejection than you have seen in previous things, because this would be the end of their particular tournament road. So the battle between the middle and the low, which is Falls and Maranatha, is very important and is coming together, and we're going to watch it and we're going to see it play out over the last 10 questions. I'm excited. I hope you are too.
Okay, we are resuming with question number 11. Question 11, question. According to Romans 9:15, on whom will I...
According to Romans 9:15, on whom will I?
I'm sorry, that is time. This is a toss-up question to the remaining team's question.
I will have compassion on whom I will have compassion.
No, I'm sorry, that is incorrect. This is a free question to Heritage. Falls 2, the light's on there. Question. According to Romans 9:15, on whom will I have mercy?
On whom will I have mercy?
That is correct. 10 points. Repeating, question number 11. Question. What were written for our learning in Romans?
Whatsoever things were written aforetime.
That is correct. Yes, we will have substitution for falls. We get the names here. Okay. Question number 12. Question. Finish this verse. I know and am.
I know and am persuaded of the Lord Jesus Christ that there is nothing unclean of itself, but to him that esteemeth anything to be unclean, to him is it unclean.
Just a minute. No, I'm sorry. That is incorrect. This is a toss-up question to the remaining team's question.
I know and am persuaded of my Lord Jesus Christ.
I'm going to stop you because that's wrong.
Uh,
All right. We have a free question to the remaining team. Finish this verse. That was a foul and false. Finish. Watch your light there. Okay. Ready? Finish this verse. I know and am persuaded by the Lord Jesus.
That there is nothing unclean of itself, but to him that esteemeth anything to be unclean, to him it is unclean.
That's it. Can we double check what question? What did you have that as question 12? Okay. We got it squared away. You guys too. Okay. Question number 13. Question. Who describeth the righteousness?
Moses.
You got it. 20 points.
My name is McGill.
Yes.
The Bible says, even as David also described with blessedness, not Moses. You said Moses.
Where are you thinking of?
That'd be verse 6 of chapter 4, Romans 4.
Okay. The question is, who describeth the righteousness?
Okay, I thought I heard blessedness.
No, that's all right. So that was from chapter 10, verse 5. So he'll get the points there. Okay, question number 14. That was 13?
There's
12 was the finish the verse. Was that free?
Yes, everything was free.
Okay. That was 12 repeated that we just did. Thank you. This will be 13. Question number 13, question. Finish this verse. For he shall have judgment.
For he shall have judgment without mercy, that hath shown no mercy, and mercy rejoiceth against judgment.
That is correct. Question number 14. Question. According to Romans 7:1, to whom do I?
To them that know the law.
That is correct. 20 points. Question number 15. Question. According to James 4:2, why do you have?
Why? Because you asked not.
That is correct. After 15, we will score check. We have Falls at 30, Heritage at 240. Falls is at 20.
They have minus 10.
We had an error and a foul. The lost 10 for.
Foul. I missed the foul.
Thank you, thank you. Falls is at 20. Heritage is at 240. I'm looking right. And Maranatha is at 50. All right, if we're all agreed, we'll go to timeout. I apologize, I've messed up a couple things here. Starting to break up the.
All right. Heritage, bravo, way to go. They're going to win the high win. Whenever you have one team run away with a score like that, the question you always have to ask yourself is, are they going to continue to try to get questions? If they are, it changes the dynamic of going from the middle win, where if they didn't go for questions, whether or not they should is a whole nother discussion. But if they go for questions, Maranatha's 30-point lead is a lot safer than if they hold back and Maranatha actually has to get some. Maranatha has a 30-point lead over Falls with 5 questions to go. If they get 2 of the 5 and don't make errors, Maranatha could win. Exciting, exciting final 5 questions. Watch and enjoy. We have a little extra long timeout for Maranatha. They must be discussing strategy.
How many fouls do you all have for Falls? Okay, so he's right up there.
Okay, so then they didn't lose the 10.
Well, hold on. Do you all have the same score? 50, 240, 20? Okay. All right. So we are, question 16, we're all in the air zone. Question number 16, question. According to Romans 11:14, to what would Paul provoke them which are my flesh?
Emulation.
That's correct. Question number 17, question. According to James 5:13, who is to pray?
Is any sick among you?
No, I'm sorry, that's incorrect. This is a toss-up question to remaining games question.
Any afflicted?
That is correct. Question number 18. Lights off. Question number 18. Question. Who is guilty of all in James?
In James 2, whosoever shall keep the whole law, and yet offend at one point.
That is correct. Time out, Maranatha.
We told you that if Maranatha got 2, they had it cinched. It looks like they've got their 2. So as long as they don't make errors, Maranatha could advance. For a program like Maranatha that's building, this is a huge stepping stone. Winning in an elimination quiz. Heritage has run off and just done amazing things. You can't help but be impressed with their quiz. But also a very impressive quiz by Maranatha, 90 points, a quiz that's a tough quiz. It's an elimination quiz, and when you're a new program, Maranatha is from the same state as Falls, and so they get beat on by Falls a lot, so it's got to be a big...
There's only so many ways she can say, if you wiggle, I shoot you. So, all right. Question number 19. Question. To what in Romans 12 if thine enemy hunger?
Feed him.
Yes, 20 points. Question number 20. Question. According to Romans 2:16, what shall God...
216, we shall God.
I didn't hear anything. I'm sorry. This is a toss-up question to the remaining teams. Question. According to Romans... Red, if you'd watch your light there. According to Romans... According to Romans 2:16, what shall God judge by Jesus Christ?
The secrets of man.
That is correct. Stay where you're at for just a second.
Quiz out.
That is a quiz out for Joe. And that will end Falls 2's quizzing day. Give them a round of applause, please.
All right, a wonderful, wonderful quiz. We saw a Heritage team run off and do a great job. We saw a Maranatha team stand in where they, getting a middle win and elimination quiz. Big deal for a growing program like Maranatha. And then Falls 2 after a great tournament falling away. So just a fantastic tournament. And you may see some of these teams again, but just a fantastic tournament. Whenever you have one team run off like that, the thing to do is not let that be something, I got to catch them. Let's focus on what you can do, and that's what Maranatha did. They got the middle win. Kudos to them. Great job. Just one of the things that came up in that quiz is when we're talking about Romans, and it talks about how the abiding grace and just how wonderful it is, and it talks about how but God commendeth his love toward us in this, and this is from chapter 5, while we were still sinners, Christ died for us. Comes right after talking about, scarcely for a righteous man would one dare to die. And we think about it, I know I personally, would I give my life for someone, especially someone who was an enemy with me at the time? And it's just great that while we were still enemies with him, while we were still sinners, Christ died for us. Again, we had a great quiz. Join us next time as we have Temple, who's from Tennessee, Falls 1 from Wisconsin, and Pleasant View 2 from Kentucky. 3 teams from 3 different states. As we get the opportunity to see them, join us next time as we do that. This has been the Great Lakes Bible Quiz Classic. See ya! All right, for those of you watching live, this is bonus footage coverage. I'm sure you're dying to know. Florida, Georgia, or Athens, Faith Athens, whatever you want to call them, they got the high. Falls 1 got the middle. And then in room 2, Kettle Moraine got the high. Pleasant View 2 got the middle. So everything held to form in the other rooms. And so that means the second quiz we have going on is Pleasant View 1, Faith Athens, and Maranatha 1. So that is the other quiz. I already announced the quiz in here is Temple, Falls 1, and Pleasant View 2. So the 2 teams, as was suspected, Heritage and Kettle earning those 1 and 2 seeds, earning their way with a relatively easier quiz into the top 6. So that's that's where we're at on this. Stay tuned. We're going to have the next quiz, and we're excited about it. Where did I put the... Oh, here it is. All right. Yes! This is the Great Lakes Bible Quiz Classic. We have a great one for you here today. We have Temple from Tennessee quizzing against Falls 1 from Wisconsin and Pleasant View 2 from Kentucky. 3 really good teams from 3 states. This is an elimination quiz. That means the team that loses is going to be out. And again, just to remind you, in every 3-team quiz, there are 2 winners and 1 loser. The 2 winners will move on, and the 1 loser obviously does not. So that's how we have those 3 teams. We are excited to present this to you. We think it's going to be great. Let's go through the team's temple. They're led by Grant Balka. He's a great quizzer. You're going to see him. He quizzes out a lot, so don't be surprised. Quizzing out, again, is where you get 6 questions right. And we just say, hey, if you get 6 questions, we're trying to build a team. That's the most we let an individual get. We have Falls 1 and Pleasant View 2. Both are not teams that tend to have someone quiz out a lot, but they have good quizzers and a lot of depth. The question and the thing to watch for is, will the one more dominant quizzer from Temple, Tennessee be enough to carry them past deeper, more well-balanced teams from Falls in Wisconsin and Pleasant View in Kentucky? It's going to be exciting. We're glad you decided to watch it with us. Stay tuned. I guess we have some time for some bonus coverage still. No, we don't.
Lights are off. If that's a kind of situation and it's immediate, we'll redo if I saw it and didn't stop. But I'm just kind of giving a heads up that I don't know any other way. Even if something's, I don't know, not quite right about the setup, we'll have to call them just so I don't end up giving one a pass and it comes back to bite somebody. So Dave, oh, sorry.
And then Zachary.
Okay, everybody ready? All right, lights off. Here we go. Question number 1. Question: what is made unto salvation in
Romans.
time? I'm sorry, it's incorrect. This is a toss-up question to the remaining team's question. You have a foul on Pleasant View. This is a toss-up question to the remaining team's question. Foul on Temple. This is a toss-up question to the remaining team's
Confession.
Yes, that is correct. Question number 2. Question: according to Romans 13:2, what shall they?
They shall receive to themselves damnation.
That's it, 20 points. Question number 3. Question: whose servants in Romans?
Servants of. Servants of. God.
No, I'm sorry, that is incorrect. This is a toss-up question to the remaining team's question.
Another man's servant.
No, I'm sorry, that is also incorrect. This is a free question. Whose servants in Romans 6 are ye to obey?
To whom you yield yourselves servants to obey.
You got it, 10 points. Repeat. We are repeating question number 3. Question: what spirit in Romans?
Spirit that dwelleth in us.
No, I'm sorry, that is incorrect. This is a toss-up question to the remaining team's question. What spirit in Romans 11 hath God given them?
Spirit of slumber.
That is correct. Question number 4. Question. Finish this verse. For not the hearers.
For not the hearers of the law are just before God, but the doers of the law shall be justified.
That's it. 20 points. Question number 5. Question. Finish this verse. Or who shall?
Or who shall descend into the deep, that is to bring up Christ again from the dead.
That is correct. We'll score check. After 5, we have Temple with 60 and 1 error. Falls 1 with 20 and 2 errors. I'm sorry, Temple has 2 errors. 60 and 2 errors. Falls 1 with 20 and 2 errors. And Pleasant View with 30. Timeout.
All right, a really, really good start for Temple. But the other two teams are doing well, with Falls and Pleasant View both getting points in the first 5 questions. Whenever you have all 3 teams scoring early, it leads you to the potential of having a quiz where you get down to the air zone, question 16 and later, where there's still a chance that any team could win. And those are the most dramatic of all quizzes. So you see a little bit of an early jump for Temple, but the other 2 teams are staying close enough that that's something I'd watch for. Can Temple spread that gap by question 10? That's what they want to do, and we'll see if they can.
And we will be resuming at question 6. Here we go. Lights off. Question number 6. Question. According to Romans 7:4, to whom should...
Even to him who is raised from the dead.
That is correct. 20 points. Question number 7. Question. Where in James 3 do we put...
In the horses' mouths.
That's it. 20 points.
Nice jump.
Question number 8. Question. According to Romans 12:18,
With all men. Live peaceably with all men.
you got it. 20 points. Question number 9. Question. According to James 2:6, who have...
The poor, you have despised the poor.
That's it. Question number 10. Question. According to Romans 5:10, but
By the death of his son, we were reconciled to God by the death of his son.
no, I'm sorry, that is incorrect. This is a toss-up question to the remaining team's question.
By his life.
That is it. By what shall we be saved? Score check. We have 120 with 2 errors for Temple. I'm sorry, 3 errors. 120 with 3 errors. Falls, we have 60 with 2 errors. And Pleasant View, we have 50 and 30 and no errors. Timeout.
Great follow-up to a first 5 by Temple. I told you they had started to separate, but they needed to expand that separation if they wanted to assure themselves. And they did. They got 120 points That's not guaranteed a middle yet, but that's pretty good. So they're running off. Now, you got Falls at 60 and Pleasant View 2 at 30. Those two teams are going to be jockeying. The question is, and Temple has a history of continuing to go after questions even after they've won, which is fine. That's their right to do, and nobody faults them. But it means that even small leads, if Temple gets on a roll for the middle win, even small leads for the middle win can be huge. So keep an eye on that. Falls right now has that edge. That could be big.
All right, here we go. We're going to resume with question 11. Lights off. Question number 11. Question. Who does God resist in...
The proud.
That is it. 20 points. Question number 12. Question. Quote, James 3:13.
Who is a wise man and endued with knowledge among you? Let him show out of a good conversation his works with meekness of wisdom.
That is correct. Question number 13. Question. According to Romans 4:20, in what was he?
And what was he? He was strong in faith.
That's correct. Yes.
All right, really good quiz going on here. 3 good teams, and hopefully you're seeing them do well. You know, again, as I mentioned earlier, Temple has a history of years of history of continuing to go after questions as long as they're there, even if they've already clinched a high win, which means that small deficits for a middle and low when Temple gets on a roll can be big. So sometimes, even though you're like, we're never going to catch Temple, you still want to get them off that roll, because if you're 30 points behind and you got to catch up, you don't just have to score 30 points more than Falls. You also have to get up before Temple on multiple questions. So getting Temple off of that roll, hoping Grant quizzes out, that's going to be beneficial. Again, quizzing out is where you get 6 right. I think Grant's closing in on that. 6 right is a tremendous accomplishment, especially at this level. So very good job, Temple, and let's see how it plays out.
I didn't do 14 yet. Okay, we are resuming with question number 14. Lights off. Question number 14. Question. Quote, Romans 13:14.
13:14. But put ye on the Lord Jesus Christ, and make not provision for the flesh to fulfill the lusts thereof.
You got it. Question number 15. Question. To what in Romans 14 are we not to...
Are we not to? Make.
I didn't hear anything.
Is it make?
Make? No, I'm sorry, that wouldn't be. This is a toss-up question to the remaining team's question. To what in Romans 14 are we not to receive him that is...
In doubtful disputations.
That is correct. Ian, we will have our score check. 160 for Temple, 100 for Falls, and 50 for Pleasant View. Timeout.
All right, we are now entering the error zone. What that means is every error is minus 10 points. Now, some of these teams had already gotten there by making a bunch of errors on their own. So every question can hold a 30-point swing if you lose 10 and someone else gets 20. So while these gaps of 40, 50 points seem like they they're difficult to make up, they can be made up 30 points at a time if you're going to miss questions. So it's important to minimize the errors in the error zone and to obviously get questions right. So let's see how it's going to go. Temple, again, looking very solid. And Falls has started to give themselves a little bit of a cushion against Pleasant View. Let's see if the error zone tends to tighten those scores or spread them out more.
Okay, time in. And we're resuming at question 16. So we're all in the error zone here. Lights off. Question number 16, question. What dost thou make of God and...
Thy boast.
That's it. Question number 17, question. In Romans 15, how have I written unto...
The more boldly.
That is correct. 20 points. Timeout, Pleasant View.
Okay, 3 questions to go. Falls is up 70 on Pleasant View. So you got to think Falls is going to say here, let's not make any mistakes. Let's stay here. Even if Pleasant View gets all 3 of them, we still win by 10. So Falls is in a very good position. Temple 60 points up on Falls. They're in a similar position. Let's not make any mistakes. Now, after if a Pleasant View gets a question or whatever, then Temple may decide, hey, let's go ahead and get one to guarantee a high win or something like that. But right now it looks fairly equally spread. You got Temple pretty clearly high win, Falls pretty clearly middle, Pleasant View pretty clearly going to lose on this. And it's a clean quiz, a good quiz. It seems like it may lack drama the last few questions, though.
We're resuming with question 18. Question. What is pure religion and...
That a man visit the fatherless and widows in their affliction, and that he keep himself unspotted from the world.
That's correct. Question number 19. Question. According to James 5:10,
James 5:10, the prophets who spoken in the name of the Lord. Take them as an example. What's up?
I'm sorry, that is incorrect. This is a toss-up question to the remaining team's question. According to James 5:10, of what 3 things are the prophets an example?
Example of suffering, affliction, with patience.
I may have to throw the whole question out. There's not 3 there. So, nothing happened. Yeah, because he All right, I'm repeating 19. Question number 19. Question. Question number 19, question. In Romans 3, what is not before?
What is not before,
No, I'm sorry, that is incorrect. This is a toss-up question to the remaining team's question. Fallon Temple. This is a toss-up question to the remaining team's question.
no fear of God.
That's it. 20 points. We'll pause, timeout, score check here. 190, 120, 70. Are we all in agreement on that? Okay. Just stand up and stretch. Give the TV guy.
All right, we have 3 teams, and their place is pretty much settled. You're going to have Temple with the high, Falls with the middle, Pleasant View getting the loss. This is the elimination portion, so Pleasant View is going to lose. So right now, I'd just like to say Pleasant View's done a great job. This is their number 2 team. So that means they have 2 teams from their ministry, and this is the second team.
Resuming
and
with
they were
question
competitive
20.
with these teams. So
Question. What does the Spirit in Romans 8 bear with our...
That we are the children of God.
That's it, 20 points. Let's give Pleasant View a hand. This is the end of their quizzing today.
I just wanted to finish off what I was thinking earlier about Pleasant View. A great day from a second team from the same ministry. When you have 2 teams from a ministry who both do that well, it just speaks well of the ministry in general. So Pleasant View, a great team from Kentucky. We enjoyed having them. Earlier in the quiz, there was a question on who does God resist? And it took us to James 4:6, where it says, God resisteth the proud, but giveth grace to the humble. And, we just know when we are prideful, that's when God is resisting us. And we've talked about how gracious God is, and Romans speaks that greatly. And yet we know that when we are prideful and we try to put our confidence in our own ability, that's when God is resisting us. So just a thought for the day. Great quiz again. Join us next time when we see the same Temple team take on Heritage from New York and another team as they go for what should be a phenomenal quiz. We're really looking forward to that. This has been the Great Lakes Bible Quiz Classic. See ya! All right, for those of you watching live, this is bonus coverage, not on TV. We're still waiting on the quiz between Pleasant View 1, Florida, Georgia, and Maranatha 1. We don't know how that quiz, I don't think it's over yet. We don't know how that quiz has gone, but the middle winner of that will quiz against Heritage and Temple, and that's the one you'll see. And then Kettle Moraine and Falls 1, the 2 Wisconsin teams, are going to quiz against whoever high wins that. What's up? Do you have something to... But you like the bonus coverage?
The bonus coverage is great.
You seem to be distraught by the fact that we're giving bonus coverage.
Not the bonus coverage, just the wardrobe department.
Wardrobe. You like the wardrobe department, eh?
Those that are watching live stream did not know about it yet.
How do they not know?
All right.
How do you not know?
Open that door real quick.
What team?
I want to
team
see.
is that?
Yeah. Hey. What team are you on? We got to find out who's the third team in this quiz.
Who's 13? Who's coming in? Yeah, we can record these whenever, especially if we got some time.
Well, this one, the first one, I started to do it.
Yeah.
And then he started to announce it,
Yep.
and I stopped, and I thought I didn't know he was going to do it so quickly, so it's on me. Let's just open that door and see if anyone...
Nope, I think they're in the...
They may still be in that quiz.
Maranatha.
Did they win?
They're up next, they said.
They got a medal?
Must have, because they said they're up next in here.
Can you grab one of them and ask them who got the high?
Do you know who got the high in the
I wasn't in there. They definitely got the middle. I don't even know who the team was because they didn't have the we were just watching.
Okay, we're hearing that Maranatha got the middle, which means either Pleasant View, Kentucky, or Faith Athens is out. So that's actually big news. If you're watching live, that's big. It's not something we'll make a big deal of during the television portion of the program, but that's really, really big news because those are 2 of the top 5 seeds. But it's not just that; it's the fact that I felt like Faith Athens, and those of you who listen to the podcast know I have a history of a Florida bias.
Athens Faith.
Athens Faith got the high? Okay, so so that means Pleasant View, Kentucky, who was the 4 seed, is out, which is which is just surprising. All right, here we go.